So the thing is, if you're trying to have an LLC business loan from Citi, this is a great video for you, because in today's conversation, I'll go in detail. I'll explain to you all the pros and cons, all the strategies that you can actually implement today to get a very high loan amount from Citi when it comes to your LLC. So let's just get into the nitty gritty here. So here is the overview. So when you're thinking about LLC business loans from Citi, here are the pros that I want you to focus on right now. So the pros: financing is very suited for small to large businesses. The cool thing about Citi is that they actually have the balance sheet to finance any kind of LLC, any kind of business operation, business transaction, not a problem. So rates also tend to be very inexpensive with Citi. I mean, Citi is a large national bank, so again, they have the resources to give you a loan with a single-digit APR if you do qualify. What we love also with Citi is that in terms of your LLC business loan, they have long-term financing options that are available. I'm talking here about 5 years, 7 years. We have actually closed last year for one of our clients. We closed an 8-year LLC business loan. So this is really, but this was a hybrid transaction though, okay? And when it comes to another pro that we love with Citi is that you have fewer additional fees, okay? You don't have all the constellation of fees that you sometimes find when you decide to work with Citi. What about the cons? Well, borrower qualifications might be hard to meet in some instances, also depending on the sector you're in, and also depending on the geography of your LLC. And Citi is not really transparent when it comes to the terms and conditions. So you got to go to a branch. They want you to bring your ass to the branch so they can actually have a conversation with you, know a little bit about your LLC before releasing the funds, okay? And the other problem that Citi has is that they do have a poor public reputation. So, but Citi is working on that though. They have been improving a lot of things in the last 3 to 4 years, so they're getting there. So overall, Citibank provides several lending products to LLCs, both large and small, including term loans and lines of credit. In today's conversation, we're only focusing on the business loans, the term loans, okay? And their loans are a little difficult to qualify for if you don't have a relationship with them. So I will speak about the relationship later on, but you need to have a relationship. Now, let me talk to you about the loan typology. So when we talk about LLC business loans from Citi, what kinds of loans are we talking about? By the way, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here today. And we're just having a quick convo about LLC business loans from Citi. So when you're thinking about Citibank and you are thinking about LLC business loans, I want you to think about 4 things. So Citi specializes in 4 things when it comes to LLC business loans. So they do provide business installment loans for LLCs. They have business lines of credit for LLCs. They have commercial mortgages for LLCs. And they do have healthcare acquisition financing arrangements for LLCs, okay? So this is this quatuor, this quadrant that I want you to focus on, this quartet, okay? Now, let me just dig a little deeper here. So when we talk about LLC business term loans from Citi, you have loans that oscillate from $5,000 to $5 million. And the term length up to 7 years. In terms of interest rates, Citi is kind of flexible. Sometimes they'll give you a fixed rate. Sometimes they'll give you variable rates. Then you also have the lines of credit. So lines of credit here, the amounts are smaller, but hey, it is still something, right? So you are looking at $10,000 to $250,000. This is kind of cool too, though. In terms of interest rates, they're really variable, and the rates will depend on your LLC's creditworthiness, both at the personal level but also at the business level. And so now Citibank has a larger line of credit for LLCs that need financing from $250,000 to $5 million. Okay, but this you need to have a stronger relationship and a stronger balance sheet, among other things. Let's talk about the healthcare acquisition financing arrangements for LLCs. Here, the borrowing amounts goes from $250,000 to $5 million. Okay, term length 10 years. The interest rates here are kind of fixed. The fourth category of business loans for LLCs from Citi, you have commercial mortgages. So here the borrowing amount, same thing, $250,000 to $5 million. And the term length, 5 to 20 years with amortization up to 25 years. Okay, interest rates fixed or variable. The thing you need to understand here is that the maximum loan amount that Citi wants to quote unquote risk on a single transaction for your LLC is $5 million. So they usually revolve around $5 million. So for them to actually go above this $5 million, you really need to have this has to be a special sort of transaction. Let's talk about the eligibility for your LLCs. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a short convo about LLC business loans from Citi. I'm giving you all the tips and tricks that you need to have so that if you have an LLC and you really want to get a business loan from Citi, you really have a clear idea of what you're getting yourself into. Okay. Now, when we talk about the borrower qualifications, there are three things that Citibank really cares about. They want you to be in business for 2 years. If you are in business for less than that, you could still qualify if you have a strong relationship with the bank. Okay. And so that's the first thing. So time in business, 2 years. And the second thing is you have to have a business plan. So Citibank will ask you to have a business plan because especially if you're asking for a business loan that spans many years, Citibank wants to make sure that your going concern ability is strong, that you are going to be around for a long time. Okay. So that's the number two. Number three, you need to have your financials. Financials are really important also because Citi wants to make sure that you are financially healthy. Your LLC is monetarily sound, or if not, at least you're not really like in a very sort of delicate situation. So this is the trifecta. This is what we call the golden trifecta. If you want your LLC to be approved with a Citi, make sure that you actually follow this trifecta. Now, there are instances where Citi will ask for more information. They may ask you for your business tax returns and your personal tax returns. So they may ask for 2 to 3 years. When they do, they'll ask you for they want to have the original. Let's say if you have an LLC let's say you have a multi-member LLC, right? So Citi will ask you for your most recent. Sorry about that. So Citi will ask you for your most recent 1065. Okay, so Form 1065 along with schedules K1. So Citi wants to have they want to have full transparency about everything. So this is really important. And they will also ask you your personal tax return. So that will be your 1040. Okay. But one thing I want to say here is that please make sure that you apply at a branch. Make sure you apply at a branch. I know the temptation is strong to apply online, especially because you can apply online if you are a Citi customer, but don't do it online. Go to a branch and have all your paperwork, sit with someone, ask all questions, gather all the intel you can before applying. You would realize that your chances of approval will be will be very high if you get all the intel before you apply. Okay, so do things at a branch and be prepared. Let's talk about the application itself. So the application. So when we talk about the Citibank's loan application process for your LLC, so as I said before, it's just a lot better to go at a branch. Okay, and what you do is first thing first, give Citibank a call. Now, if you live close to a Citibank branch, it's just better to go to a branch directly. But if you're not close to one, I want you to pick up the phone right now and start a conversation. So you tell them what your LLC, where your LLC is located, how long it has been in business, and you ask the rep what are the conditions for your LLC to have a business to be approved for a business loan through Citi. So they'll just give you a constellation of all the things you need to fulfill before you qualify. Okay. And the thing here is that just make sure, please have your business plan. You got to have a business plan. You got to have your financials. Those two are really important. Okay. Now, in some cases, Citi will ask you for your personal, like your credit score. Now, credit score, as long as you have a good relationship with Citi, either at the personal level or at the business level, if you have a minimum credit score of 600 or 650, you could qualify. Okay. Citi is not, The fact that people believe that it is harder to be approved for a city loan, this is actually a myth. It is a myth. The thing is that a lot of folks are just looking at Citibank from afar. They have no idea about what's happening. We do have a clear idea of what's going on within Citi. Having worked there, our own team members have been there for many, many years, having done transactions with Citi on behalf of clients, of business clients. So we know how they operate, okay? So make sure you have your financials. And there's one thing that really helps also is to actually provide, like within your business plan, make sure you explain what's really happening in your sector. Like it's called sector analysis. So you want to really talk about the sector trends, what's happening, who's making money, how do you stand a chance? How does your LLC stand a chance to actually make money too, given the circumstances in the industry, right? Sometimes you can actually fulfill this criterion by doing a SWOT analysis. So strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is important, okay? And so one thing you have to do here is that Citibank might ask you also the last 3 bank statements for your LLC. The good thing is if you already have an account with Citi, if your LLC already has an account with Citi, then that's fine because they actually have the data already. They don't have to request anything. I want to talk to you now about transparency in service, okay? By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. We're talking about LLC business loans from Citibank. And the thing is, when we talk about transparency and service, this is an area where Citibank can do a lot. They can improve. Right now, they're not what they're supposed to be. They can do a lot more, okay? For example, when it comes to transparency, when it comes to their APR, when it comes to the terms and conditions for about their LLC business loans, Citibank is really they're too discreet about that. And so the thing here is that, and we're saying they're too discreet about this compared to, for example, Wells Fargo, compared to Bank of America. Like Bank of America is really transparent about their terms and services, okay, about their repayment window, about their whatever. Like they're doing a lot. Same thing for Wells Fargo. The two big banks are not really transparent in terms of LLC business loans are Chase and Citi, okay? And when you move from the big banks, you go to the mid-tier to the second-tier banks. Second-tier banks are way more transparent. I mean, if you take a bank like PNC, it's just crazy. They are so transparent, it's unbelievable. We'll love them. We'll love them a lot. Same thing for US Bank. Same thing for Truist. Same thing for TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is not a second tier, they're a third tier. But same thing for Truist. You have PNC, you have US Bank, you have Fifth Third, okay? So those are the 4 second tier banks. They're really transparent. And we love the fact that, you know, this is something that hopefully will actually make sure, will actually inspire Citi to also be transparent. In terms of customer service and technical support for your LLC, once you have a business loan, Citi still needs to do a good job. I mean, overall, historically, Citi has suffered some reputational issues regarding their customer service overall, but I can guarantee you that having worked with them on behalf of clients, then the last 3 to 4 to 5 years, Citi has been doing a lot of stuff. They've been improving things like crazy. So kudos to them. Wonderful. Now let's talk about LLC business loans from Citi, and what are the reviews actually that people are saying online about LLC business loans from Citi. I first want to talk about the negative reviews. Don't worry, I'll talk about the positive reviews later on, okay? So in terms of LLC business loans, the reviews online, when it comes to the adverse reviews, people have talked about account problems with Citi. So basically you have, let's say you open an LLC business loan with them. I mean, you get approved, and the way they track your payments, the way they actually manage your account, it's not really where it's supposed to be. According to the type of research we have done, that's what people have said. Some people have said also that Citi has some fees that are unexplained, so they will charge you stuff, and you have no idea what they're charging you for. And people also have talked about the fact that, you know, when you call Citi on the phone, sometimes you get routed to somebody somewhere over the world. You have no idea, you know, so communication could be a problem. I mean, a lot of customers wished the city had more staff on U.S. soil who could really understand what people are talking about. But again, this is not particular to Citi only, though. I mean, just to be fair, you have all the big banks are trying to cut costs, so they're trying to outsource their customer service and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm just here to tell you, before you actually get an LLC business loan from Citi, it's fair to you also who are listening to me right now to know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, so those are the negative reviews. Let's talk about the positive reviews. In terms of positive reviews, LLC borrowers have talked about the fact that with Citi, if you're able to get in, you get good rates, and that's true across the board. You know, you have APRs that are relatively low, and Citi has a fantastic physical presence on U.S. soil. You're talking about, I mean, this is a big bank, so they are a behemoth, similar to Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. Okay. And a lot of folks have praised Citi for their range of products, okay, for the diversity of products that they are offering their clients. So this is really good, and we can attest to that's true. Citi does have a constellation of products and services that your LLC will love. When it comes to LLC business loans, I told you earlier that they have a quartet that is that's very strong in terms of health acquisition finance. They have business lines of credit, they have business loans, and last but not the least, they also have LLC commercial real estate loans. So overall, Citi is a strong player that we love a lot. So I'm just giving you, like, overall, I would just say, like, you know, at least now you have a balanced view of what's really happening. You have the pros on one end, and you have the cons on the other. So now hopefully you can make an informed decision about what really is important for your LLC, what kinds of loan amounts you want to go after, and most importantly, what is the repayment window. But again, I want to say one thing: go to a branch to apply. Do not apply online. Do not apply over the phone. Go to a branch. So let me give you our verdict here. So you have listened to me, and I'm very happy that you're still here. And so LLC business loans from Citi, should you get it? Is it something that you should pursue? The first thing I want to ask you, my question to you is, boss, do you currently have a relationship with Citi? Number one. Number two, how long have you had a relationship with Citi? Number three, how deep and diverse is your relationship? In other words, how deep and broad is your relationship? By depth, I mean, how many accounts do you have? Okay. And, like, do you have savings account, checking accounts? And do you use the Citi for their services? And do you have accounts at the personal level and at the business level? Okay. Those are really things that you have to think about. So that's the basics. Now, you who are listening to me, should you apply for an LLC business loan through Citi? First things first, is your LLC a startup? If yes, it will be complicated for you to get approved. So you want to look for another lender, because Citi, they want you to have at least 1 to 2 years minimum operational history before qualifying. So if you are a brand new startup, like fresh out of the oven, chances are you might not qualify. I'm just giving you straight, okay? Number two, what sector are you in? Make sure the sector you're in, the sector your LLC is in, that Citi actually covers that sector. I mean, Citi covers about everything, but they cover, I would say 99.99% of sectors, but there are some sectors that they will not do, either because of the law or because of their own strategy. So make sure that your sector applies. And number three, you have to generate revenue. You got to have revenue. If you have no revenue, it will be complicated. You got to have revenue to qualify for a Citibank LLC business loan. Now, and don't forget about the business plan. Do you have a business plan? If you don't, Citibank business loan is not good for you at this point. You got to have a business plan. You got to have a business plan, and you need to also have your financials. Financial projections are really important. Okay, and those are things. If you need help preparing those documents, let us know in the comment section. We'll certainly guide you. We'll certainly point you to some of the best resources, best and very affordable resources. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about LLC business loans from Citi. So we talked about, I gave you the overview, the loan types, the eligibility, application, the transparency and service, the reviews, and our verdict. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.